Prof, good morning. Thanks for your time. John Steenhuisen, he didn't backstab Maimane, that's what it says, but I think also quite striking is that less focus on the ANC and more focus on what the DA can do. Is that a good strategy going forward?
It is a good strategy because it means that you are consistent. You have to define your own identity. What you say today and tomorrow can't be determined by what the other party does. Because the ANC is always changing. There's always something happening. So it means that you will never be consistent. There are certain set of principles that you have to adopt and stick to those, regardless of what the other party does. In that way, you are then able to entrench a firm and stable identity in the minds of voters. But if you say something today, the next thing tomorrow, then you look a little bit wobbly.
What about Steenhuisen himself? I mean, he's interim leader until 2020, as we say. Is he the right kind of leader at this juncture of the DA, at this moment of crisis for them?
He's the right kind of a leader for the party we have now, the party that has decided to become a month or so ago. I think he's an embodiment of the anti-racial redress mood and sentiment that you have in the party. So it's not surprising that you would have someone like him. Once they elected Helen Zille, it was quite clear that they were going back. They had taken a different turn. So Steenhuisen was an inevitable outcome of that turn.
Interesting comments that he makes, Prof, at that media briefing yesterday, that part of what they're going to try and do is to root the party into communities, organic, those are the words they use, organic rooting of the DA in communities. What does that say about Mmusi Maimane and what he's been doing?
Well, Mmusi has been doing that. I think Mmusi tried to extend the membership of the party into areas that the party had never been, in Soweto, all sorts of places, in the rural areas. The party grew, by the way, right? This is rhetoric, because what he stands for is actually an elitist kind of a party, a narrowly focused party. So his statement doesn't gel with what the party is now becoming. The two are inconsistent.
Prof, I want to move quickly to the ANC. Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, very much in the news at the moment. She's brought back Bathabile Dlamini, who's going to be working as part of an interim board in the social, that authority, social housing. Then you have a string of other ministers lately who have had scandals of their own. Gwede Mantashe admitting very publicly that he lied about claims that he had been bribed by journalists. Is there a credibility crisis with the Ramaphosa administration at the moment, or are we being alarmist?
Well, the credibility crisis has always been there. Ramaphosa came in and promised to change it. But obviously he hasn't managed to change the party as drastic as he wanted to, or as quickly as he would have liked to. So you still have the skeletons coming up. In terms of ministerial appointments, that has always been a problem. Those appointments in the minister's office are purely his or hers. And they are quite despotic about it. They don't normally hire people who are qualified. They hire party cadres. And even when they fire arbitrarily. HR doesn't apply in the ministerial office. It's the most badly run office in the bureaucracy, by the way. There's a wastage of money. If you were to do a study of all these ministerial offices, you'll find ugly things. So Sisulu is not an exception, but a norm. Which really goes against the idea of a clean and ethical government, because the rot with these appointments, bloated offices, is really in the ministerial offices. So this is not a new thing, it's an ongoing problem.
What to make of the new dawn? Professor Mmusi Maimane, thank you very much for making the time to speak to us here.